Guys, welcome to REVtalk and the episode 4, which is going to be very exclusive and very special for us. We all know the hotel industry is defined by its movers and shakers. Whether someone introduces an industry disrupting technology or just executes a truly flawless renovation. Success and failure, we all know it's a part and parcel of everyday works, lives, highs and lows. But what we create is memories. Memories of working together, memories of working with inspirational bosses. Life throws a rare opportunity to start up with a new brand where you normally, when we go to a new brand, we feel, I don't know how the boss is going to be, how the culture would be. But fortunately, with God's blessings, when I went to Alila, I especially got Bastien as my boss, and it was a great experience for me. I would love to have some experiences shared during the session, today's session. I'll share some experiences where you'll actually realize that, yes, he's not only a boss, but he's a true leader. So when I met Bastien first time during my interview, I still remember I was expecting all revenue management questions. I also had Andres during my interview, and normally you expect when you are applying for a revenue manager, you expect that it would be revenue management questions. But apart from one question, he asked so many questions which actually motivated me that whatever I personally felt, whatever package Alila is going to give me, I will join because I want to work with this boss. That was the motivation. And when definitely during my RevMax, I had my first conversation with Doris. So again, it was a great experience and a lovely it was a lovely pleasure, and their appreciation has always motivated me. Their appreciation became my inspiration to work more hard. It basically gave me a pleasure working with in revenue management. I felt before Alila, somewhere or the other, I felt, have I selected the correct stream? Will I grow in the stream? But when I joined Alila and met both these people, both the leaders, it was like, yeah, this is the perfect stream I've collected because I met leaders. I would really like to introduce Doris, and she includes her graciousness, lights up a room, and I am the proof of it. When I went in my first revenue maximization meeting, everyone in the hotel was like, today Doris will participate, so you have to be very particular on numbers and points, and your reports should be absolutely correct. And everyone was, Doris is coming, Doris is coming. I just thought, who is Doris? It was basically 10 days I joined the company. Then I called up Bastien. I still remember. I said, Bastien, everybody is saying Doris is coming. Like Binny is also saying Doris is coming, Doris is coming. Like, I am now getting frightened. So he said, chill, nothing to worry. It's okay. You just have your numbers ready with you, nothing else. Don't worry. She's a lovely person and a lovely leader. I have learned personally many things from her. So you'll just enjoy. I said, okay. And actually that was true. After that, after first RevMax only, I was like so comfortable. Further, I never felt that I'm talking to such a high post lady and you feel frightened or something. You think twice before connecting with her for any regards to in any problem where you have stuck or something. But you are a wonderful lady, and I really look up to you and hope I become one day like you, which is very difficult, I know, but yes, for sure. So people who have joined us, I would really like to tell you that Doris has, like, it's more than 3 decades she has been in the industry. Ever since I have started working with her, I have learned a lot, which really helps me to become a better person. I will really like to share a small presentation with you all. So I'll share my screen, which I have prepared just to welcome Doris and Bastien. I'll be sharing the presentations followed with for Bastien, followed with Doris. So let me share my screen, and I'm sure you guys will love that. Yes. So Doris has an illustration career spanning more than 25 years in the hospitality industry, with so many awards, so many appreciations, starting from to like what I have in knowledge. Maybe Doris can clarify and correct me if I'm wrong. Since 2003, where she has joined first person as appointed as Alila Hotels corporate office to drive sales and marketing and to grow. So since then, Hotelier magazine, which everyone knows, she was Asia's top 50 women leaders to bag the Leadership Excellence Award. Then she also bagged ACT President's Award in 2002 for her regional contributions. In 2009, saw Harper's Bazaar's Japan profiled her work in their story on successful Asian career women. And apart from that, the one which I loved the most as a women empowerment, her name was there in one of Asia's 50 women leaders to bag the Leadership Excellence Award, which is a great thing. So many articles, so many experiences, so much learning to not only her, like people from her brand, but magazines and everything. I have read so many articles which have given me so much strength, not only as a revenue manager or a revenue specialist, but also as a motivation and inspiration. She was nominated for Singapore's Women Weekly Great Women of Our Time Awards. Apart from that, Lodging Magazine, Lodging Innovators in February 2018 again appreciated her. She, in October 2019, one of the most memorable travel lodges, again had one article from her side. She loves traveling. She is superbly and very, very much influenced by two people, which is Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey, which we'll talk about later in this session for sure during our funny rapid fire round. So there is a lot to tell about her, which I think she'll be the best person to tell us about herself. And before we come to Bastien, I would like Doris, I will request her to give a small introduction about herself and correct me if I have in past said something wrong. Apologies for it. So I'll just request her to share a small introduction for herself.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Archana. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
yeah,
we
okay,
can
thank
hear.
you. Yeah. If this is a surprise, no. I think being in the industry, and if you are a leader, you would never be able to do all that you can do if not for a great team. So like I said, a leader never walk alone. And I think I'm just blessed and fortunate that, I mean, I managed to work with good people and people like me, and then that's why they write about all these things. But really, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just like any one of you, you know, it's just that, but constantly seeking, learning, and then I think most important is to ensure that credit is given where it's due, you know, so that your team shines. So when your team shines, you shine too. I think that's all I can say. I mean, the rest of it was again, I think because we're in very interesting times, and every time when there are crises, you know, I mean, new leaders emerge. So I happened to ride through several crises, and it was during the crisis that, well, you know, there was only a few people that they could rely on and to relate to. And Alila is one thing. Alila was born in crisis, you know. So it was during SARS that I joined Alila. So, you know, during times like that, you literally, firstly, I think it's easy to stand out if you have the courage, you know. But above all, I think we must be able to walk the talk, and we must be humble. Because if you're not humble, you will not have good people working with you. And you must also give credit, because without these people, you can't do half the things you want to do. Thank you so much, Archana. I really don't deserve all this, but, you know, thank you.
Thank you so much. So now just a small introduction for moving to Bastien. I'm sure
that's going to be short. That's going to be shorter. I have less years of experience.
Trust me, I swear on God, last night when I was remembering what to actually write for Bastien, there were so many instances, there were so many experiences, there was so much to tell about him. I said 1 hour is going to go behind him and all his introduction only. So I will make a small introduction from my side and then let them speak. So again, I'll share my screen once again. You know, it's a bittersweet to leave a workplace you have enjoyed working so much. And one reason when I was leaving Alila, I was so sad and I really felt that should I go? I was little confused. You are always confused because of some other reason. For me being confused, a very main reason was Bastien. I really haven't in my career found a boss. In fact, to be very honest, my boss was Andres, not to lie. He was an amazing fellow. When I joined, Bastien was there, but then Andres joined the company. But honest, I'm not saying that I have not learned anything from Andres. He had superb revenue management knowledge. But what I learned from Bastien was more of not only being a good revenue manager, but a good person, a down-to-earth human being. It's not necessary any level you reach in your life. Everyone grows slowly and steadily. But once you reach any level, you have to keep in mind that you are the same with the entire team. You can't afford to behave like a boss in any situation, especially when your team is going down. Everybody goes up and down in their career. So, which happened with me also. I have many a times gone down and then I felt, no, again, Bastien was the one to push me up. No, you can do it. You can go ahead and you can do this. Go, go. So that was the reason I have always looked up to him. He has brought a lot of recognition and launched a successful revenue management atmosphere in Alila, I would say. He has not only taught me professionalism, but also consistent guidance, which is very important for all of us. Consistent guidance with holding hands in hand. It is not that he has just left and said, now this is something you have to do, now do it yourself. No, he was there always holding hand with us. There was a very big, which I would like to share. There's a very big thing. There was so much of, at times, many situations where time difference mattered in India and Singapore. But with him, it was like, whenever you want, I'm always there. No matter, don't worry about the timings. It is evening, it is morning, it's afternoon, because their morning meeting, our morning meeting, everything was mismatching on timings. But Bastien was always there. Just drop him a message and he's present in next 15 minutes to sort out your problem. So yes, he's definitely a very loving husband. Apart from that, he is a person who is not only work. He loves traveling. He loves sports. He's fond of, I believe, what I have learned from his social media posts, that he's fond of pets as well. And he has 2 cute cats. I'm not sure how correct I am, Bastien. We'll love to listen about that from you directly. But he loves traveling and is a very good friend. A good human being is a good friend by default. There is no question about it. Traveling to India, I believe Shrishti must have joined till now. So Shrishti was the revenue manager for Alila, and when I joined, Shrishti has left and she was joining somewhere else. So somewhere I felt good also, And because I was joining there, and somewhere I felt, oh God, I felt bad for Shrishti, because definitely she always used to say, yeah, like, I don't want to go because of only one reason, that we have a very good boss. So I said, and that I realized after 1 or 2 months. But yes, this person is, I would not count him as a boss. He is a true friend, a true leader, a person who has always motivated, with numbers, without numbers, with his words, just talking to him, his presence on the phone. Guys, I would really tell everyone, I'll like to tell one thing very important. The two leaders which I have on my podcast today, I haven't met personally any of them. You know, many a times we face some issues when you are motivated by very great leaders, like I am motivated by Oprah Winfrey, Mahatma Gandhi, as sometimes you say Subhash Chandra Bose, and like moreover I am motivated Mr. Narendra Modi, but you have not met them. So these two people in my life stand a very, very vital place. I have not met them, but I always feel there is a connection which has made a great bonding, I would say. Normally, when you leave the company, what happens is you leave the company and it's bye and goodbye to everyone. But for Alila, it was not that case. Till today, I am connected with Bastien and Doris, which is a great motivation. When I started, in fact, I would like to tell everyone, when I started REVtalk, and I dropped a message to Doris on LinkedIn, she saw, and she was the first person from Alila to drop a message to me that it's a great initiative and all the best, and just let me know. So getting messages from such senior person in your career, like, it brings you to another level. And thank you, Doris, for this. Thank you, Bastien, for always motivating. Now I will leave up to Bastien just to give a short brief about your career, where you started from your journey and everything. And then we have some surprises for you. I'm sure you'll like that too.
Thank you, Archana. No, it's great. Thank you for the invitation. It's great to see you again, and to also see Doris. I mean, it has been a while. A lot of things have happened since we were all together at Alila. Some of us have gone through a new journey. I'm still hanging in there, but no, it's really a pleasure to be here with you. So I think we'll have time to go back on the career. But I started in Singapore. I have stayed there for 7 years almost. And then now I'm in Hong Kong within Hyatt, since Alila was acquired by Hyatt. A new word, new experiences, but always great to learn day after day.
Great. So,
and that's correct. I have 2 cats who are in Singapore, and I haven't seen them for 6 months now. So hopefully I will be able to see them soon. Thank you, COVID-19.
Great. So now I have to share my screen. I'm so sorry I have to share my screen again and again, but you know, I have some surprises for you, and post that we'll definitely continue with the questionnaire which we have.
Hi, everybody. I am so glad for this opportunity. Thank you, Archana, and thank you, Revners, for giving me this brilliant opportunity to connect with my extended ex-Alila family, I would like to wish Doris and Bastien good luck for today's conversation with Revners. I've had brilliant and beautiful memories working with these absolutely amazing personalities, great leaders. They have so much inspiration to give, so much information to share. So I hope everybody benefits from this conversation today. I've had the opportunity of working very closely with Bastien and Doris, of course, during my 2.5 years at the Alila Diva Goa. And we have brilliant memories of opening the iconic Alila Fort Vishankar in Jaipur in India. Bastien, calm, composed, great with numbers, very quick to queries, coming from the marketing communication background. Revenue and numbers is something that we're always dabbling with and trying to understand. So every time I had a question for him, he had a great response and a quick response. Doris, brilliant memory. She's been a great mentor, someone who I always looked up to and is my role model for marketing communications, as I would say. So thank you, everyone. Want to keep this neat and short, but good luck and stay safe, and warm wishes from sometimes sunny and these days really raining in Goa. Bye.
Hi, Bastien. Greetings from Mexico City. Hope you're doing well. And I'm really glad that Revners, and thank you, Revners, for giving Bastien this opportunity to speak, to talk about his experience, his career, his journey through the hospitality industry. Right now, with the COVID-19 pandemic, it's a really hard time for this industry throughout the world, all the way from Asia to Latin America, where we are going through a hard time right now because of this. But I'm sure, Bastien, you have a lot of experience to talk about, a lot of recommendations, and what are your insights for the future of this industry? I try to think about what's next and what's the new normal, which to me is more of the new reality that we're going to be living in. And yeah, hopefully you're going to be giving us some good points to think about, and I'm sure you're going to do great. I'm really proud of you, and I look up to you. The first day that we met in our MBA back in Paris, and up to today, I'm really proud, and I really think that you have done a great job. And all that you have grown in this industry. So all the best, and hope you're doing well, and hope to see you soon. Take care, my friend.
Hi, Bastien. I'm so proud of you that you're embarking on your first webinar or Zoom session to share about your experience and your knowledge of the hospitality industry. I'm sure you're very excited about this event, and like how you always are, you must have prepared well for it, and hopefully whatever you are going to share during this webinar session will be useful to people who work in the industry in the same area as you. You've come a very long way. You've always been very patient. You work very hard. You always tell me that hard work goes a long way, and people will recognize your efforts in due time. And I think the time is slowly starting, and I'm very excited for you. So I'm glad that you are able to, I'm glad that Revner has given you an opportunity to share what you know about the industry. And so go for it. And I will be dialing in from Singapore with our two cats, Lolly and Elfie. Hopefully I remember to stay mute, because if not, you can hear Lolly meowing and howling all the time. So I'm very proud of you. Go for it. And I'm sure this is not going to be your last sharing session on the industry. Very proud of you. See you soon.
That's a surprise.
That's a great surprise. Wow. Well done, Bastien.
Great. So now one more last surprise. And before starting the podcast for today, one more fan for Bastien. Just I will request her herself to come online and share her experiences with all of us. She had a lot to say about Doris and Bastien both. So I guess you both can guess that she's a Alila family member only. Shrishti, if you can please come online.
You will have to allow my videos so that they can see me too.
And what if I don't?
No, you have to.
Okay, wait, I will do that. 1 second.
Hi.
Hi, Shrishti.
Hi, Doris. Hi, Bastien. So good to see you both.
Hi, Shrishti. This is a lovely surprise.
I mean, when she shared it with me that this is happening, I said, I'm not recording anything. I'm going to go live and talk. This is very special. So good to see both of you. And I'm going to be, you will have to allow me, I'll have to be a little biased towards Bastien. I had such an amazing time working with him. And I am very envy that she shared my emotions towards him earlier on the call. But leaving Alila because of Bastien was a tough call. I still remember one person I missed from the very next day, talking to every morning, evening WhatsApps. He was always there. I had such an amazing time. So as Doris, I remember being on those conference calls when I used to whisper in Vijay's ear and she used to know that I'm talking. But you guys have been really amazing. Very inspirational and very supportive. I remember, how we launched Alila, how difficult was that. I remember finding people for Alila was, for Bishangar was very difficult, but it was very amazing. Coming to, I'll jump to Bastien now. So good to see you after so long. I mean, I can't believe we're really doing this. It's such an amazing time. I'm not going to talk about your work because I don't think I'm the right person to talk about it, because I definitely have learned a lot from you. So I'm not going to go there and talk, but the way I connected, with you, I don't think in the past I've connected to anybody like that on work. So thank you so much. And I wish you all the best and congratulations, both of you, for Hyatt.
Thank you, Shrishti.
I'll leave on to Archana now. And Archana, thank you so much for letting me be part of this and doing this for both of them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shrishti. Thank you.
Great. So I would really like to before starting the session, I'll just give a small brief. The session we'll be dividing in 3 sections. First section would be related to, for Bastien, it would be related to revenue management, and for Doris, again, marketing. The second would be knowledge to infinity, which will be totally a motivational and inspirational section for all the participants. Especially, we have students from one of our hotel management college in Jaipur from India. We have students from there. We have their lecturers from there. We have their management team as well. So in the last round, which is the question and answers round, we'll be having some questions also from their side. And one of the very exclusive section, which I love to do, is a fun rapid fire round, which will be 5 questions for Bastien and 5 for Doris. So we won't take much of your time in that, knowing you more. We have always known you professionally. Today, I would love to know you personally as well. So, Doris, starting with you, I would really like to know, before going further, that being a CMO for all these years, what are the major challenges that marketers face in this generation? Like, definitely your generation and today's generation is absolutely different.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. 1 second. Okay, gotcha. Right. Well, I have often talked about COVID-19 as being, yes, it's very life-changing to the world. It's caused a lot of hardship, but it has also the silver lining, and I think it's a great reset and the new normal, because this new approach to remote working will cause businesses to adapt to the new normal and the work practices. And I think the efficiency of current work models will have to be reevaluated, and higher priority should be given to employee well-being. So it all goes into how we pack, how we scrub, how we travel, and how, you know, when travel resumes, I think it would probably be maybe Q2 of 2021. And I think that's where more and more people will want to start off traveling domestically first before international, because there are just so many things to be said. And I think people would really prefer the rural spaces. So therefore, you know, the boutique resorts, you know, will probably find favor. And I think health, cleanliness, safety would also be paramount. So perhaps there'll be health IDs, you know, COVID passes, and isolation rooms, for instance, and things like that. And most importantly, I think technology will be the key to limit physical contact. But at the same time, because of that, I think there has to be a great amount of humanization, okay, so that we don't lose the human touch. And also, don't forget, I think travel may become more expensive. So as the economic impact will leave many to consider only essential travel. But the rebirth of travel, I think, will mean fewer but longer. So meaningful trips, a more mindful approach to travel with a bend towards interactive and local engagement. And then well-being and wellness will be paramount. So luxury brands offering wellness as their core will be more sought after. And of course, with the ease of virtual meeting technology, I think the meeting segment business will have to be scaled down. So that's my 2 cents worth. Hello?
You're on mute, Archana.
This time, I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Okay. So I just wanted to check with Doris again. If given a choice, you would prefer to do more offline marketing or more of online activities, like as per your choice?
Now, Doris, you're muted.
Sorry, now I'm on mute. Sorry. I think we can't ignore technology. So I believe literally, you know, technology is going to be the most important thing. So I think we have to, for me, I think because in this day and age, you know, I mean, my preference would really be inbound marketing, as it is a focused growth methodology that leverages digital tools to draw visitors and potential customers. And it's that means you're pushing a brand instead of outwardly pushing for a brand presence. You know, you are drawing potential customers in, and then by doing so, you're actually growing the business by empowering your customers. And if done right, it's very cost effective, and it can really generate demand for your product. So that's
great.
Yeah, that's what I would choose.
Great. So coming to Bastien, while your time in revenue management, what were your top metrics that you would see in your dashboard?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is no big secret or surprise on that topic. The main KPIs that I was tracking at that time were obviously first internal metrics to measure the performance of the hotels, whether it's versus budget or previous year. That would include, for revenue management specifically, occupancy, average rate, and REVPAR. Now, the only slight different thing, because I was, most of my time in revenue management, I spent it at Alila, I was also tracking one metric that is a little bit more resort specific. And that metric is the total revenue per occupied room. Because when you look at evaluating the performance of a resort, I think the room component is obviously important because that's what brings you the guests to the resort. But when you are in a remote location, all the other revenue, whether it's food and beverage, spa, are all generated by the guests that are on the resort. You have very, very little capture from outside the guests. So it is important to make sure that the hotels are doing everything they can to kind of incentivize the guests to consume while they are on the resort and not going outside. So that metric, that total revenue per occupied room, I mean, that's something that we used to look at a lot during the revenue meeting as well. Now, aside from internal metrics, you also have obviously the external metrics of the like of STR indexes. The RevPAR index is the main one that we used to look at. And I mean, doing a small parallel to what's happening right now with COVID, that's obviously something that is really important to look at the moment. Comparing to budget or previous year, it doesn't make sense. The budgets were done pre-COVID stage. So previous years were obviously not impacted by this virus. So making sure that your hotel is doing better than the competition is a great satisfaction for the team on the ground. Now, all of those metrics are great, but they also only look at what's happening in the past. So the next stage in terms of what KPI I would be looking at is everything related to future, whether it's pickup trend, business on the books. Seeing what's happening there is obviously a key thing, and that would depend on what's the lead time, the booking lead time for each hotel. I mean, you have a city hotel that's you're gonna look at focus on the next 7 days, or let's say 3 to 7 days, depending on the location. For resort, it can go up to 6 months, and you know that you have to act further out to make sure that you have the right pricing in place. Yes. And then on a monthly basis, then you would obviously dive in a little bit further, looking at market segments, production, key accounts such as OTAs and tour operator and things like that.
Do you really think, Bastien, it is a myth that the jobs get easier when you are working up the ladder in the hospitality industry, or it remains the same?
Well, as you mentioned it during your introduction, I've started to train for triathlon, so swim, bike, run events.
Okay.
Racing from very short distance to very, very long one, which is basically spending 10 or 13 hours racing. Now, there is a common quote that goes around the triathlon world, and this quote is actually from a very famous American cyclist called Greg LeMond. And he said, it never gets easier, you just go faster. So in the hospitality industry, I think it's exactly the same. Except that instead of going faster, you're going to acquire more experience through the years. And then that experience will help you to become more efficient in dealing with things that come your way. So does it get easier? Actually, I think that as you move up the ranks in the industry, it actually gets more challenging because you obviously are exposed to bigger problems, let's say. But then at the same time, it's more rewarding when you can figure out what's wrong and turn things around. Then that's the greatest reward. So myth or fact, I would say it's a myth.
Okay, great. We all know that we are stuck in COVID these days. So I would really like ask to Doris, what's the marketing way forward after in hospitality post-COVID era? This is really a very big question for all of us. So if we talk about the entire Asia, what's going to be the upcoming scenario?
Wow, what's coming? Well, I mean, everybody I've been talking so much about it, and I believe everyone already have quite a good idea of what they have to do. But I think most importantly, we have to understand the travel perception during this period, because it's not over. And I think now is a great time to get in touch with the travelers' perception of the COVID situation. So understand how your brand can help and take customer sentiment into consideration for your recovery strategy, and how can your hotel, your brand, or your business add value now. So I think it's also important to develop a prevention plan if you haven't already, because you have to document a prevention plan that protects employees and guests while on property, and also put potential guests at ease and to help ensure a positive, safe experience at your hotel. So I think we have to communicate critical COVID-19 information, because it's important for your hotel to address critical information like your cancellation policies, etc., and ensuring that the prevention plan is in place across critical channels such as your website, local listings, social media, and email, etc. But I think nothing is more heartening than adding value to people's lives and giving back. So while COVID-19 is still impacting travel, I think your hotel brand should stay connected to past guests and share valuable content where people can enjoy at home, be it on your website, blog, social media, and email. And I think some brands have been doing very good examples, you know, so that it is not all about selling, you know.
Correct.
So, but all the messaging should be empathetic, it should be positive, and overall uplifting, because you again, you don't want to talk to death about, oh, you know, I've got all the security in place, and sometimes, you know, less is more, I think. And also during a crisis, people will remember how your brand has made them feel, and providing the right content can strengthen the brand relationship long term. And finally, there's no better time for your hotel to be focused on the greater good and giving back to the community. So consider little ways that you can give back, like partnering with a charity, allowing your loyalty members to donate to a cause, to enjoy loyalty points or reward for a future stay. And or, like we've seen some hotels doing, is to provide complimentary rooms for healthcare workers and frontliners, or an exclusive rate to first responders. So I think that as marketers we can do. But then so for companies, you know, I think companies would then have to consider key priorities like scaling up on the digital innovation in service operations, to give assurance and instill guest confidence and the ease of booking, for instance, and be ready to provide guest assistance. Then you can also increase demand by adapting our commercial efforts and offerings to new customer needs brought about by the circumstances. And then we have to push for sustainable transformation with green stimulus program, because right now, you know, sustainability is the buzzword. Even banks are getting onto it, and everybody is talking about sustainability. And most importantly, like I've mentioned earlier, is to strengthen human capital in retraining, upskilling to boost productivity. Because right now, I think because of the problems and the burden that hospitality and the travel industry is facing, I think they are going to be shrinking the staff strength, such that people will have to be forced to multitask, you know, before business ramp up and before they hire the full force. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Great. Nice. I'm sure so much of knowledge and with so much of experience, this is going to be a great further for people who have joined us, can be passed on to other people, and it will help us also. Bastien, with the technological enhancements in the industry, a lot of jobs done today are only technical. Like, so do you really think in further time, by 2025 or maybe after 5-10 years, the human's job to be redundant in near future?
Well, Doris alluded to it, and I think the hospitality industry is a world where human interaction is the core of the business. And I don't think that this will change in the future, even if we are living in a time where COVID-19 is making us question the way that we interact with others, whether on a professional or personal level. Now, that being said, technology is there and is something that the industry needs to take advantage from. We just cannot afford to let the other industries advancing with better technology, better processes, and us as hoteliers staying behind without looking at it. So I think we have to continuously explore ways to use technology, just in an effort to basically be able to scale up, and also to advance care for hotel team members, guests, customers, and the property owners. I mean, for management companies, we obviously have to care about our guests, but we also have to care about our property owners because we are ultimately working for them on their behalf. So I think the technology should be perceived as a way to assist us with our respective jobs and as a way to enhance the guest experience, making it more seamless. But definitely not, we should not see it as a threat on jobs. Now, the last thing I would say on that is, if you go back 20 years ago or 15, 20 years ago, and you think how many jobs within the industry did not exist at that time. So I'm talking about the bloggers, the SEO specialists, digital marketing, app designers, data analysts, and so on. So I think that there might be some jobs that might be replaced somehow with technology, not 100%, I don't think so, but it will also help to create new jobs and create new jobs that will help hotels to basically perform better. And the only key thing for us as being in the industry is to be ready to adapt, like we are doing now with this the virus and the situation.
Correct. We have to continue doing that. So with this, we will connect with our section 2, which is going to be Knowledge to Infinity. Knowledge to Infinity is named basically because when we join a professional career, when we move to a professional industry, no matter any industry, it's a hotel industry or it's engineering, medical, whatever, it's not only, our life is not only stuck to knowledge. Definitely that we are studying in our colleges and during our education time. But what we want to know from both of you is, what as a manager or a CEO or a head of the department, directors, different level of your career, what are the learnings which you would like to share with everyone, that yes, at this stage you felt that this is the correct path which I have chosen, or any situation where you felt that maybe if not this, I would have done that. So how did you balance that situation? So Doris, we'll go with you first.
Well, that's a very, it's an interesting question. But I think I would say go with the heart, because when you love something, you'll be able to do it so much better. You know, so I think, do we really know that we are going to be doing this? No. But I think somehow or rather, that's why they say water will always find its own levels, because eventually, you know, you will get around to doing what you feel that you like, and then you improve, and then somehow or rather you just go along and try and do it better. And I think with the interest in learning, if you constantly seek learning and you want to know more, you know, you will get to that. Because to be very honest, I was never a hotelier. I started out actually in building engineering. I mean, that was really my background. So I used to be, I started my career as a quantity surveyor, and I was doing development.
Wow.
Yeah, I was never a hotelier. So from there, I was actually asked by an owner to help him curate a space for him to build a library, and then to also help him curate his artifacts. You know, that was how I started. And after that, when I finished that project, you know, he was opening the hotel, and he said that, why do you come in? Because I want people with very different ideas. So I went in, and sometimes I think the less you know, the better you are. So at this time, I don't know anything about hotels. I don't know that in a hotel, a GM is God. I don't know, you know. And when you don't know, you dare. Like if I think back, I mean, would I have dared to do those things that I used to do? No, now that I know so much, right? So like a kid, I mean, you look at children, they're always very daring in the beginning, you know, because they do not know the dangers, or they don't know how to fear, and they don't know the etiquette, you know. So I think when you are curious, you know, and you dare to do and dare to make a difference, and like Nike say, just do it, you know. And of course, eventually, when you find that, you know, there's something that you really love, just pursue it and just go with the flow. Like I started actually was in sales, more than marketing. It was only in Alila that I came on and I realized that, my God, how am I going to build a brand? And I realized that marketing is so important. And that's why I said, I literally told Frederick Simon and Mark Patterson, I said that, hey guys, you guys need marketing. So I'll steer marketing, you know? So that was it, you know? Yeah. So I think if there is a will, there's always a way, you know? Yeah.
Bastien, your thoughts on this?
Okay, can you just remind me the question, Archana, because my internet cut when you were.
Yeah. So in the journey, I believe you also started from kitchen, what I have known as, So in the entire journey from the kitchen to the director revenue management, definitely there have been many stages. So any particular stage, did you feel that this is not the path which I should have selected, or any one stage should have come where you felt, yeah, this stream is the correct stream and I love to do this? Because till you love to do your job, you cannot succeed in that particular stream. What I believe in is.
Yeah, I think my career is maybe not the traditional one that we usually hear about, where it's true that I started in the kitchen. That was my first internship, kitchen and service in food and beverage. And I think I took a different route, because when I finished the hotel school in Lausanne, I had basically two options. Was either I start working, or I go and do another diploma, which happened to be an MBA in international hospitality management. And at that time, I thought that it would probably be a good idea to get a bit more experience and connection with in another school with another views, with other views, and with people with more experience, obviously. So I was able to enroll in that program in Paris, and I did that for a year, and from there on, I had always set my mind to come to Asia. So I came to Asia because I also met my wife in Paris at that time, where we did the same program, and that's where my revenue management journey started. At that time, I was really open to doing anything in the hospitality industry. I got this opportunity, and then from there, that's how I work basically. I mean, I have a long-term goal. I know where I want to get to.
Okay.
Now, how I'm gonna get there? Let's see what opportunity comes along the way. 2 years ago, before I moved to Hong Kong, I came a few times on holiday, and I always said that never ever will I come here and live and work in this city. Impossible. Yet I've been here for a year and a half now. Yeah. So I think it's very important in our industry to keep an open mind and to never regret anything, because whatever you do, you will always learn something from it.
Yes, and the rest is history then.
Correct.
So again, one of my favorite questions, which I would like to ask Doris, will be, as a woman, like definitely in your time when you started the career, in today's time, if we talk about the hotel industry, we did one survey where we came to know that today also only it's 12% of women in the hospitality industry, and rest is the male people who are there. But in your time, was it the same, or for you starting in the hotel industry as a female was difficult? And today also, how different it is from working with a male section of people and making them understand sometimes which they don't understand, or it's just vice versa?
We do understand. We listen.
Everyone is not Bastien. No, everyone is not Bastien.
No, but yeah, I think frankly in the hospitality industry, if you look at it, there's always more women than men. But you're right. I mean, at the top, there are more men than women, right? So it has always been an uphill struggle, I think, for women, because especially in hospitality, because hours are long, right, and irregular, and especially when for a woman who has to balance family, and work, it's very, very tough. I was lucky, I think, because I was always working with good bosses, and good owners as well, who were actually interested to see a woman's point of view. And I think that was how I survived, so to speak. Yeah. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, yeah. I agree on that part. Definitely, it's little different, but yes, for sure. These days, it's growing day by day. People are now motivating women empowerment as well, not only in hotel industry, in fact, all the industries. And they are welcoming with both the hands.
Yeah, because you know what? Because right now they're seeing that it's the right thing to do. So they want to be in the right crowd. Just like, you have to talk about sustainability, because, it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
And of course, right now, there's a very interesting post that I was sent, and it's about the way the world leaders are handling COVID. And you see that the countries that are not doing well all have male leadership, and the countries that are doing well have all female prime ministers and chancellors. There you go.
Wow. That's
nice.
We'll just. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, for that you can't afford it. Look at New Zealand, look at Germany, look at
No, Bastien, we understand that the majority is female just now, but still we can know your thoughts on this. Don't worry.
No, I agree with what Doris has said. So I think I share the same view as Doris. So
great.
And don't forget, they said that behind every successful man, there's a woman.
Yes? That's correct.
That's a very old saying, but very true. Okay, go to the fun rapid fire question round, where first we'll ask some questions with Doris, then with Bastien. So I hope it goes well. In fact, before coming to this, we have Miss Harsha Mukhija, who has just raised her hand. So before we go further, I will definitely give her the opportunity to ask her question. Harsha, if you can just come online.
Thank you so much, Archana. Hi, Doris.
Yeah, before further, Doris and Bastien, I would like to introduce Harsha. Harsha is not a friend only, partner in crime for me, but she also initiated this REVtalk with me, and she was a very great support. My friends have been not only Harsha, many of my friends, I believe some of them must be on the call. And first session of REVtalk, the first episode was done by her only for the revenue management, whereas she is from human resources background. So it's poles apart, but she did a great job. And now today, when she came to know that Doris is coming, she was very much interested to have a question round with her. So, Harsha, now I leave it up to you.
Thank you so much, Archana, for a wonderful introduction. I would, before I shoot my question, I would like to tell you, since the day you have confirmed about the show, and she was so excited. Archana was so excited to have you here, and she's been talking about you every single time. And I've never known you before, but then, since we started talking about you, I actually explored you so much, and now I really admire you for whatever you have done. My question is, since she told you that I'm in HR, and I've been working since 9 years, and I've worked with IHG, but my question with so many people remains same, because I really want to understand people's mind. I really want to understand the pulse of employee. And you have been dealing with so many people at the same time, not only in India, and across the globe you are dealing with so many people. So how do you manage their minds? How do you manage their understanding and knowledge and skills?
To be very honest, I think it is a lot of people or employers will say that I like people with this kind of mindset or this form of people. Frankly, if that's the case, today we'll be dealing with robots. Because you can program robots. So at the end of the day, for me, I always believe in chemistry, and I always think that if you put a person doing what they like,
to work together. And so actually, I think Bastien and I have the same history, when we think about like Alila, because we are a startup, right? It's a small company, trying very hard. And because of that, when you're small, you don't have the resources or enough budget to employ the best, But what it does is that it gives a chance to great people, to aspiring people, to people who have got the talent you can see. So I think for us, we have to first of all discover that innate talent, and then after that, look at what they do best. It's very easy to sort of just focus on a person's negative points instead of positive. So I think for me, one of the first things is I look at the positive, because there are so many negatives in the world if you want to look at it, and we're not perfect. So I want to do that. I said, oh my God, there's so many things I can't do too, right? So I think by focusing on the positives of a person, then you're able to know that what will suit this person. And I personally, I'm speaking for experience, because I'm very proud to say that a lot of my teammates, who have started with us, as a junior today, they're all directors of somewhere. I mean, like to quote one of my head of sales, a very good friend of mine, Revners, he always say, and he will always, WhatsApp me and say, Doris, guess what? Andy is right now regional director of Four Seasons, or whatever. And all these are the people we train. I still remember when we started Alila, we got this young boy from Alila, Jakarta. He was a busboy, in the restaurant. Today, he's a regional director of sales.
Nice.
So at the end of the day, it's like knowing that person's positive and grooming them, because then, by giving them that positiveness and that confidence, you'd be surprised at what that can, really motivate and grow a person. I mean, look at China. She was such a young girl, studying with us. I mean, look at China. This is so proud. And I think, seriously, I won't say that we're leaders, but as human beings, I mean, we need to work with, what you call a team, right? Today, a lot of companies will say, oh, I'm a CEO, but what's a CEO without a team? Right? So I think we are all, but in my new company, in this new startup we started, we agreed on the consensus that we are all specialists. So we're all specialists, we do our own thing, and with that respect, so there's no boss. We don't have any boss and anybody around, but we respect one another based on their talents, and we consult one another, and good work is produced. So I think with that understanding, and that's how I think, frankly, my strength really is understanding the human side. Because by understanding people, by knowing how to work with them, then you're able to draw them and get the best out of it. In fact, I would say Alila was very lucky, because when I started, I had no resources, I had nothing. So people say, how do you get into the top of the brands and stuff like that? It's all people. I remember when I had to go to America, to launch the ship at the time. We had no budget, we had no fancy, PR company in the US. So what I did was, I followed what I read in a book, which was it was a destination book with a love story. So what I did was I did a blind dating. I wrote to all my friends, and I said, if you know somebody who's a journalist in this city, and I connected throughout, and so they helped me. So I get to meet people like I don't know who's Tom Jones or who is Alice Jones, So I'll say that we meet in this restaurant at this time, and we've never seen each other, but our common link was this friend. And that's how I met all the journalists, when I was in the US, and launched the ship, and we got it to Urban Daddy, which was amazing. So I think really is having that belief and that gumption to do it, and believing in the human spirit and rallying the people around you. But to do that, you have to be really humble. I mean, there's no one is greater than you. Okay, and I think by leveraging that, you get to work with a fun element, and you get to succeed together. And giving that credit is so that's my truth.
Thank you so much for wonderful, thought which you have shared. And I can make out that, how passionate you are when you talk about your work, when you talk about people. You really added essence to this show by answering this question. I'm really glad that, you responded to the query which I had. I would like to ask Bastien, so would you like to add on to this? How do you deal with different kind of people, different, people with different skill set, different knowledge? So how do you deal with them?
Well, I've learned a lot from Doris over the years at Alila. I mean, when I arrived in Asia and I started working with Alila, Doris was obviously a great help in understanding the different culture, because I think that's ultimately that's the most important. If you are able to show care and understanding of the different culture, then the dialogue and the communication is much easier than if you try to get people to act the same way as you do. I mean, that's not something that is possible. So I think ultimately that understanding and open mind is what is important, especially in our industry where everything is about people.
Right. Rightly said. Thank you so much for adding your valuable inputs to it. I will over to Archana now. Archana, you can please take it forward.
Thank you,
Thank
Asha.
you so much.
So now I'll take forward our most
Thank you, Asha.
Great. So now we'll go with the fun rapid fire. So whom should I go first with, Bastien or Doris? I leave up to you.
Doris, go ahead.
Bastien. I've always looked at the video. Bastien,
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Archana.
Okay. So we'll go with Doris first?
I think
Great. So we'll go with Bastien first.
Okay.
It's a quick rapid fire question. So
remember, I'm Swiss. I might take
management.
a bit of time.
Revenue management, operations, or operational planning and performance analysis? What's the preference?
Operations.
Okay. The secret ingredients that makes Bastien successful from others?
Wow.
3 secret.
Patience, hard work. That's enough, I think.
Okay. If you could turn back time, what is the one change that you would like to make in your life?
Why would I want to go back to the past? I mean, I think there is enough going on in the future. I mean, enough things to look for in the future. So I'm not going back in the past.
Great. Doesn't that sound a diplomatic answer?
No, I think that's a very...
Okay. So favorite destination and chosen hotel for vacation, and why?
I think I'm a sun person, so I would say the Maldives.
Oh, wow.
And then whatever and whatever hotel there, I think it is a great place to be, especially after being locked down like we are at the moment.
Great. Your fondest memory from your trip to India?
Yeah, I there is one thing. I remember first time I landed in India. It was actually I was about to go to support the opening of the fort.
Okay.
I landed in Jaipur, and the hotel was not open at that time, so I was staying in Jaipur, and then we were commuting every day. I jumped into a taxi to get to the hotel. We came out from the parking of the hotel. The car turned on the road, and then I lifted my head. It was the plane was arrived very late, so it was, I think, about midnight or 1 a.m. And then next to me there was a elephant on the road walking with obviously someone on that was on the elephant. But that is the first memory that I have of when I first landed in India. So that will always remain. That's something I've never seen anywhere else.
Great. So now I'll give you 5 choices, and you have to rank yourself in the priority. Like, what is the priority in your life? So career, family, food and vacation, I'll keep one. Then fourth will be money, and fifth will be like relaxing and just me time, I would say. Me, myself. Me, myself.
Or me and myself last. But was it food and vacation? Or?
Yes, food and vacation.
No, I would say we have food and vacation 4, money 3rd, and then family 1st and career 2nd.
Wow, that's nice. Last question, I'm sure must be interesting. The first experience when you met Doris, what was the first reaction which came to your mind?
Hello.
I think the first time I met Doris, it was
when he meets his wife.
No, what I really always enjoy about Doris is we can talk about anything, and I was always able to learn a lot. But one of the things that I remember is that every time we're scheduling meeting, whether it was for half an hour, usually we ended up speaking for about 2 or 3 hours. But that is what is great with Doris, and that's what I really miss. I've been really missing over the past 9 months since
Wow.
I've moved to Hong Kong.
Lovely, lovely. Great. So now I jump.
Oh no, and then no, sorry. There is one more thing that
please
that I miss a lot is the chicken curry from Doris. This is something that
wow.
Maybe maybe I have to rank food first now.
But Bastien, seriously, I think you left me the sweetest farewell message. I still remember it. I still think of it. You're such a good friend. Thank you. Sorry, Ashana, you're mute. I couldn't hear you.
So now I'll come to Doris for the fun rapid fire. Yes. Favorite assignment that you had in your career? You have done so many assignments. So the favorite assignment that you had in your career and why?
Oh. Actually, I've got 2 parts of the question. When I first came without knowing, going into hotel line, my favorite assignment was to build a reading room for my hotel. That was all I had to do. I had to build a reading room, and then categorize all the books and buying of the books, and then also categorizing the antiques. Oh, that was a dream to do because I could read a lot. I love to read. And I could relate. I could buy. I would be interviewing the chefs, buying books for them under the culinary section. Oh, that was the best job. And of course, then when I finally get into hospitality, I think what I really enjoyed most was in opening hotels, going into destinations in the beginning where you work with the owners, you work with the team, you dream out ideas, you dream out taglines for the property. I mean, anything that's creative and innovative, and especially working with the people there. So that to me has been the dream.
Great.
Yeah.
One thing that no one knows, but Doris knows about herself. We would like to know that today in our show.
Okay. I think many people didn't realize that I have done the Via Ferrata at Oman. So I climbed and I scaled, and I did it for a 3.5-hour adventure. I did it in under 2 hours. So I'm very proud of myself. Right, Bastien?
Yeah, well done.
I did it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm basically very lazy. So I don't exercise a lot, but I love challenges. So I must say I do push myself. And my resolution has always been to keep fit and be as fit. Bastien, I can never do the marathon, but I like to continue climbing and trusting. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's your choice hobby, like pastime activity? I would say, what's the best pastime activity you would like to do?
Like I said, I like trekking. I like exploring new places. Recently my husband and I did that was way before COVID. from China. So it was very interesting and tracing the roots of the philanthropists that have started, the education movement in Singapore. So that was really fun. And that was more his birthday present because he's so much into history. And then, of course, then us doing our anniversary, which was doing the track and all that stuff.
Okay. Again, 3 secrets, ingredients from your side which have made you successful.
Wow. I think it's that curiosity, So they say curiosity kills the cat. I think I have 9 lives still yet, so I'm not killed yet. But yeah, so I think it's the curiosity. It is that passion. I'm always very passionate over what I want to do.
Okay.
And also it is the positiveness. I mean, one time Frederick Timor always used to say that I'm too positive. Sometimes he hates me for being too positive. But I think positivity needs hope. Without hope, there's no point in doing anything. So I think these are the 3 things that I always do. And laughter, I think that's 4. I always look at, I always find something to laugh at. I mean, like even the worst situation, I will look at the funny side. Because what can you do, right? Rather than to cry. Yeah. So there you go.
If not marketing in hotels, Doris, what would you have chosen as a field of work for yourself?
Frankly, I think I would have been an architect.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was really my, I was in building engineering and I was actually on my way to do architecture, but it was too long. And my education was cut short. So I couldn't fulfill my dream, but I would try to be an architect. Yeah.
Okay. So again, last question for you would be ranking yourself again as per the priorities. Again, for you, I will remove food and keep trekking in that place. So, so career, family.
It's very straightforward. Family first and foremost. My friends, and private time with my friends, career third. And I think me time would be last.
Okay, great.
I need something in between.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now at the end, before ending the show, I have some questions in the chat box. One is for, I believe one is for Doris and one is for Bastien. So I'll go with Bastien first. Since the GOP is reducing, which Saurav Sajeev has asked. So Saurav is asking, since the GOP is reducing and reduced revenue with travel restrictions during COVID-19, what are the best practices that hotels should do to protect business?
Well, in a world where your revenue are shrinking, the only way to maintain some form of profitability, or at least reduce the losses, you have to review your cost structure and look at opportunities there where you can either defer cost or simply remove them completely from your profit and loss statement. It is a tough times. I mean, the industry is going to bounce back. There is no doubt about it. When there are many different projections that have been made by very intelligent people around the world, whether it's industry expert or consultant. But for the time being, it's about trying to reduce your expenses, and also looking at opportunities around the hotel, because yes, people cannot travel abroad, but you still have people living around you. So they might not be staying in your hotel, but you might be able to convince them to come and eat in your hotel. And if the restriction from the governments that are in place don't allow you this, then look at opportunities to work with takeaway companies. I mean, it's really, I think it's really a time where we need to rethink the hotel business and find creative way to generate new revenue streams.
Great. Thank you so much, Bastien. Saurav, I hope your question is answered. And now the question for Doris, which I have, is from Om Singh Rathore. So I believe he's just typing the question yeah. So he is asking, which is more important, strong visibility of a product or closing a deal?
Okay. Again, for the longest time, I hate sales. So when people say I'm a salesperson, I hated it. I really hated it. I think most important to me is the conviction in what you're doing or what you are presenting or what you're marketing. So therefore, if you talk about whether it's strong visibility, I think it is to sell the concept and to make people believe in what you're selling first before you even can close the deal, right? So naturally, it would be trying to tell the world or tell your prospects, what is so good about your representation. So that first, because when you get that right, then the deal will be automatically closed, right? It's just a matter of time.
Great. Thank you so much, Doris. And with this, I will end today's episode. Before that, I would just like both of you to share a closing statement from your side. And next time, I don't know when you'll take out time again for me. It was, from my side, I would really like to say it was a great opportunity and an honor to have you both. I hope you also enjoyed the time.
Yes, thank you, Archana.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Archana. And thank you to everyone who makes time to be here with us. Seriously, for us, it's really a reunion. And, really, really pleased to see, like me, seeing Archana, Bastien, Trixie, and also having us here. Thank you very much. I think we enjoyed ourselves very much. So, Bastien, why don't you go with your closing statement first?
Yeah. I think, everybody is very in a very uncertain stage at the moment. I think we just need to keep looking ahead to a brighter future, staying safe, ourselves, but also our families. I think that's the most important right now. And I think we will have better days for all of us. So, but it was great being on this talk, Archana. Thank you very much for the invitation, and hopefully we'll be able to do that again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have one very special request from Harsha. She has just dropped a message in the chat box. So Harsha, you can definitely come online. She's saying, I don't know when will I get the chance again to be in the frame with Doris and Bastien. So she would like to come online with your permission and take a picture.
Sure.
Sure.
That's very COVID times, yeah. Taking picture on Zoom platform. Yeah. Come, Marsha, that's the first.
Yeah, I know. First time for me. How do you take a picture on? Harsha?
Thank you so much.
Great. So it was lovely having you, and Doris and Bastien. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And it was a pleasure having you both.
Thank you, Harsha.
Well,
thank you,
everybody stay safe.
You.
Yeah, stay safe.
Stay safe.
We'll get through all this, okay?
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you, Bastien.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Doris.
Bye-bye, Bastien.